Hey y'all, and welcome to my little springy book haul. I have bought some books over the past couple of months, and I think I've shown some here and there, but I wanted to show my most recent stuff, the things I could remember, pre-orders, things like that, before they go into the greater ecosystem of my, to be perfectly honest, very messy TBR shelf. I have been saying that I'm going to reorganize that shelf for a couple of weeks, and it has not happened, but putting all of these on there might be the perfect time for it. So I think I've read at least a couple of these, maybe. If you hear little crinklings and stuff going on in the background, Oliver is sort of moving around the space. And he is, if you're unfamiliar, blind. So you might see him, you might hear him, but he's also kind of like a little trash panda. He tries to get in the trash can all the time and pull everything out. So he's just like a little blind menace, but don't mind him. Everything's fine. I'm going to start out with pre-orders that came in the past month. And first up, A Parade of Horribles. This is book 8 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and I have not started it yet. I really would like to get to it soon, but I say that about 99.9% of my books, so hopefully June will be my moment. I also pre-ordered Fever Dream through the Strand. They were offering a signed pre-order, and that was the only place I was aware of that was doing so. It came with this little art card, which I think is very cute. And I love, this is very reminiscent of like the 80s bodice ripper. And I think they called this like a step back. When you have the little artwork in the front, that could be something specific to those little mass market paperbacks, but that's what it reminds me of. And then also, like I said, it is signed. Oh, I ordered this from Invitation Bookshop, which is Matt Dinniman's local, and it is also signed. So there's that. Forgot to mention. This is what happens when I'm very impromptu. I forget everything. So signed. I was planning to get the Target special edition because I think it had the first chapter of the next book or something like it. All the different versions have all sorts of different offerings, and that was the one that I liked best. But when I saw the opportunity for a signed, I had to go with that. And the artwork is so cute. One more moment for the artwork. This is going to be book 1 in, I think it's called the Emerald Lake series. So this is a new series from Elsie, and we are following Emmett all the way back in book 1 of Chestnut Springs. He is a bull rider. And then we have Theo's sister, Julia, and she's running like a reality TV dating show. And Emmett is one of the contestants, I believe. I think that's the whole lineup. I've obviously not read it yet. And I'm going to a book club at Sincerely Yours for this, so I'm going to save it until closer to that time. My mom and I are both going. I'm so excited. And the next pre-order that came very recently is Bad Boy Era by Amy Daws. I think this is very cute. Peep little rugby down here. He is their bearded dragon. And this also came with some artwork. I have the little artwork from all of the books in this series, and I ordered through What Sarah Reads, and she did a pre-order campaign as well. So now I have all of the artworks, and I have all of these books in this series signed. I have finished this one. I did get an e-arc of this, and it's the final book in the Mountain Men Matchmaker series. Main character Everly is the niece of the Mountain Men that she has made matches for, and now it's her turn. She is back from 4 years at Trinity College in Ireland, and she's brought back her best friend's twin brother to work at Trista's animal rescue for the summer. He's trying to rehab his bad boy image, and she is trying to help promote the animal sanctuary, and they're in close quarters a lot. It was really good. It was exceptional, and also like strangely emotional for me. There were a lot of emotional moments. So there's Oliver poking around, but this was great. I have finished this one. It has the cute sprayed edges that match the rest, and then the bearded dragon. They do end up co-parenting the bearded dragon rugby. Very cute. I love a bearded dragon. I would highly recommend the whole series, and especially like this is how you end a series. It was so good. I'm gonna move into some random things that I picked up recently, and I think this is a new release as well, but I hadn't pre-ordered it, and it is the Dungeon Crawler Carl graphic novel, volume 1. I don't know how closely it follows book 1. I mean, Matt Dinniman writes it, so I just don't know if everything will be there, if things will be left out. I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm very excited for it. I love a graphic novel. I like the size of this too. It's a nice like handhold size format. And I mean, it looks very fun. I like how they've illustrated Princess Donut. I'm really excited to have a more visual companion to the book series, and I don't know what the plan is to keep going with these, but I'm very, very excited for it. My mom has been a little bit in her Carley Fortune era, so she recommended that I start, and I did pick up one Golden Summer, but I think you're supposed to read every summer after, or this. There's one that they're all standalones except for like this one and one other. And this is the one that you're supposed to read second. So I picked it up. I don't really know what it's about. I will read the first one first. I might have picked that up. I think we did see it somewhere else and I picked it up in our adventures. So yeah. In my Barnes & Noble travels, I did pick up Effed Up Fairy Tales by Liz Gotauco, I think maybe is how you say her name. Gotauco? I don't know. But this had been on my radar for a little while, and it was kind of top of my list. If I see it, pick it up. And these are just, from what I can understand, her interpretations, like her kind of retellings of really messed up fairy tales in a bawdy and humorous way. So I think this will be so much fun. I love a fairy tale, as you well know, and I think this will just be a really good time. Also, it's just quite funny looking. Like the cover is quite funny looking, and I love the colors. I think that's just going to look really nice on a shelf. Now, more recently, I was in Barnes & Noble looking for the summer edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I have been cross-stitching a stitch along from that magazine, and I've been working through the spring pattern. Now that the summer issue is out, I had been hunting for it and couldn't find it, so I decided to take myself to another Barnes & Noble a little farther away, and I did end up finding it. And while I was there, I poked around, and I did find 3 books. So I did grab 2 Sarah Beth Durst books. I did not already own these, obviously, and I have not read them. First is The Lost. I don't know a ton about this, but from what I understand, it's about a place where people who are lost or looking for something find themselves, and they can't leave until they find what they're looking for. And so it's about a woman who ends up there. Sounds good. I love Sarah Beth Durst. I've really enjoyed every single book of hers that I've read. So I'm now at a point where I'm trying to collect her backlist and work my way through that. I think the cover is really beautiful and compelling, and I'm so happy to have her. Next, I picked up The Queen of Blood. This is book 1 in the, what is it, like Kingdom of Renthia, maybe, series? What's it called? Book 1 of the Queens of Renthia series. They had all 3. I almost bought all 3, but I controlled myself. I had a little bit of willpower, and so I just picked up book 1. I'm not 100% sure what this one is even about. I know there's dragons or dragon-like somethings, and it might lean YA. Again, not 100% sure, but just really excited to work my way through her backlist and read everything she has written. I think the covers, again, very compelling. It makes you want to grab it and take it and read it. Also, on that trip, I saw this, and there is a little mushroom on the spine. And also, I just love the colors. It looks very cozy. So when I pulled it out and I saw this cover, and then the blurb by Alex E. Harrow is witty, whimsical, and deeply kind. You know, sometimes you just need like a gentle, soft, cozy fantasy to get you through the day. And I think that's what this will be. I don't even know that I read the back. I was just sold, just absolutely sold. Like, for some reason, we have a gun and a pan of eggs. I don't know. Again, not 100% sure what this one is about, but the cover really pulled me in. I know it's about a widow, and with her husband dying, like she's risen from maidservant, I think, to lady of this manor. And when her husband dies, it kind of puts all of that into turmoil, and she has to fight to keep her position. And then there's this other guy that could be her salvation, but he's kind of a mess. And I think he's on the run because he cast a spell to raise the dead or something. Like, there's a lot going on, but it just sounds like something I would love. Very recently, Mom and I went on a little day outing around town around the Memorial Day holiday. We actually did 2 outings, but the big one saw us through Decatur again. We went to Eagle Eye. We went to a brand new to us bookstore, which was incredible. And our first stop was Eagle Eye. I found another very cozy fantasy whose spine drew me in, and then the cover, very cute, very sweet. Field guide for the formerly Villainous, and it just, again, sounded very cute, sounded very sweet. There is a blurb on the back that says cozy fantasy at its best, and the most I know about this is we have someone who unknowingly sort of joined a cult and then escaped it. There's a ghost granny who's very no nonsense. And I think it's just going to be an overall very fun time. I've been looking to expand my Naomi Novik collection after finishing a couple of her stories and really enjoying them. So when we were in Eagle Eye, I did find Uprooted. It was a used book, so I think just $7.99 for this beautiful paperback. I love the little foil. It's in amazing shape. All the corners are very nice. Nothing is bent. I am so thrilled to have this. Again, I think this is in the vein of fairy tale retelling. Kind of the most I know about this one is a young woman living in a valley village community. They are surrounded by dark woods that are filled with evil spirits. The person responsible, the magician or something, wizard, responsible for keeping those dark forces at bay asks for a very heavy price. And every 10 years, the village is forced to sacrifice a young woman. And I think our main character is going to be that sacrifice here. I think that's what it's about. Another fantasy. Are you surprised? Like, I'm really enjoying Naomi Novik though, and I was very happy to find this. I couldn't find any of my graphic novels used, and I'd been holding off on buying any of those until I could get to Eagle Eye because I just knew I would find them there, but finding this was such a good surprise. And I did not walk away with 0 graphic novels. I found something I've never heard of. This is Demon of the Wood, and it's a Shadow and Bone graphic novel. Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo. This was also $7.99 in amazing condition. It is a hardback. And again, like, here's the under the dust jacket. I had never heard of this. I have not read the Shadow and Bone series. She's another one whose backlist I really need to prioritize working my way through. But beautiful artwork. Super thrilled to have it. I almost didn't get it, and then I thought, this is one that I'll be thinking about. If I leave it behind, I'll be thinking about it endlessly. Let's just take it. As I mentioned, we did find ourselves in a brand new to us bookstore. I think this bookstore opened last year in Decatur. It is a romance bookstore called Kiss and Tale in Decatur. This is their very cute bag. We had a beautiful time in there. It was kind of the hit for that whole day. Let me get this stuff out of the bag and I'll show you what I got. First, I picked up one of these Bruno Visconti notebooks. I first became aware of these in Blue Ridge. I think that is was it the Copper Fox? I think that's right. The Copper Fox bookstore. We got a couple of them. I wish they had these in the smaller format because I like to put them in my purse, but I just thought this one was too pretty to pass up. They're very inexpensive. They're very nicely sewn bound, and I love the paper. I love writing in them, so I had to have this one. I don't know if this series has a name, but it is the Adventure Archaeologist Crusaders series by Joe Segura, and I've been wanting to collect this series for a long time. I had looked when we were at Half Price Books, couldn't find any. I looked when we were at Eagle Eye, couldn't find any. And so I did eventually see one. I do think this is like the 3rd book though, but I didn't care. I've been wanting to dive into this. And sometimes if I don't physically add a book by buying it to my TBR, I'm afraid I will just never get to it because I tend to prioritize the books I already own most of the time. So I just pulled the trigger, and hopefully I love the series. Seeing as this is like the 3rd in the series and I don't really know a ton about the other ones, I did see that this is about a plucky librarian and an archaeologist who is on the run from something. I don't know, and they have to get fake engaged. That's enough really to sell me on anything. Next is The Worst Wedding Date. I don't know anything about this book. I don't know anything about this author, but I kept seeing it. And I think Mom bought it in Eagle Eye. And I was like, you know what? If I see this book again today, I'm just going to buy it because I have not been able to escape it on Instagram, in the bookstores, like anywhere. I just keep seeing it. And we walked into Kiss and Tale and there she was. So I had to grab her. He is holding a tiny baby kitten and has tattoos, and they look like they want to fight each other. I'm in. Another book that had been haunting me a little bit, and I did ask for it from the library, but I took the opportunity when I saw it. This is There's Something Fishy About My Boyfriend. It is about a woman who works at her family's B&B on the Jersey Shore. She is sure that like there's nothing else for her in life. This is her path. And one day, this guy washes up out of nowhere, and he's gorgeous and too good to be true. So yeah, I mean, like, obviously he's a merman, and I love mermaids. I just have a thing about mermaids. I read female fantasy either earlier this year or late last year, and I absolutely loved it. And it has more like mermaid vibes in it as well. This one, it seems like our main character is a merman, so very, very excited. And I was talking to the bookseller in there and she said they cannot keep this one on the shelves, so just get it. And I did. The final book I picked up in there, and I really did not intend to bring it home, but is Lucky Shot by Rebecca Jenshak. And again, I haven't read any of her books, but I keep seeing her everywhere. She's been on my KU for probably ever. I've been like, yeah, I'm going to read it soon. I'm going to read it soon. And I haven't. So again, just adding it by physically adding it. I did check. This is book 1 in a hockey series. I think it's a new series for her. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's enough to sell me, really. I love a hockey romance. The setting looks very mountainous and like romantic. I think this is about a writer who is writing a baseball romance, but she has to switch it into a hockey romance. I don't know why. Listen, I just work here. She has to switch it into a hockey romance. She doesn't know anything about hockey. So I think she enlists this dude to help her. Maybe he's a hockey player. I don't know. I don't need to know. I think I'm gonna have a great time. The day after Decatur, Eagle Eye, like all of those fun things, there will be a vlog about it. Maybe it's already out. Maybe not yet. Who knows? But the day after that, we decided to go the opposite direction and we went into Kennesaw to, again, another new bookstore that I've been wanting to check out. I think they opened when I was on my book buying pause, and it is Brown Dog Books. Little cute paper bag with the stamp. I love it. And I did get a few things in there. They have new and used. The used section was pretty small. Honestly, they didn't have a lot of inventory full stop, but somehow I managed to find 4 books. Okay, so I did grab this one. This is the Every Summer After, and I think this is the one that comes before One Golden Summer. Was that what it was called? So I'm going to try and read those together. I got a bookmark. This is a very cute bookmark. Like, thumbs up. Very good job. Love that. It's so cute popping out of your book, and then the QR code is for their shop. They do a lot of events. Seemed like a cool space. Just not a ton of inventory. And I tend to like that maximalist aesthetic in a bookshop. I want the shelves overflowing. I want the tables like full of stuff, but it was very nice and cozy in there. They had a lot of cool art and stuff in there too. They also had tons of like painted canvases on the walls that were for sale. It was a very interesting place and somewhere that I think I will find myself back at. Also in there, Michelle had told me about this series. It is The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. And these are little tiny books. I don't know if they're like YA or something, but she had mentioned them to me. We talk about books a lot. I don't remember the exact conversation, but I put it into my little search engine as a external brain reminder. And so when I saw them in there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick up the first one. The bookseller in the Brown Dog did say that she heard you have to like get through the first one. I don't usually love hearing that, but sometimes it's worth it, right? Like sometimes it's well worth it. So I got the first 2. We'll see how it goes. They're very small, they're very short, and they're just told through journal entries. So I'm looking forward to it. And finally, in the used book section, I found Flush by Virginia Woolf. I have been eyeing this for maybe like 1.5 years, 2 years, and I've had it like on my Amazon list, but I try not to order from Amazon. So anyway, I've been looking for it. I've looked on thrift books. I've looked everywhere for this flippin' book. I just happened to see this, which really, this is the cover I was looking for. This didn't tell me anything. Something told me to pick up this book, and I freaking found it in their used book section. I'm so excited. This is a biography of Emily Barrett Browning's Cocker Spaniel, and I don't know a whole lot more about it than that. I know that when it came into my orbit, I was instantly intrigued and thought that is the exact type of book that I would like to read, and I would like to have it. And so the adventure to find it has come to an end. I'm so thrilled to actually own it now, and I cannot wait to read it. That was a lot of books. That's a lot of books. Not all of these will add to the TBR number because there were a bunch of pre-orders, and then I have read, I think just one out of the batch, but that's a lot of books. It's definitely going to increase my number. I don't know by how much yet, but that's a problem for future Meg. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you found some interesting books here. If you have anything that you think that I should put on my list for my next book buying adventure, please let me know. If you've read any of these and you loved them or hated them, I would love to know that. I love little comments, so leave me one if you feel so compelled, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.